All right, guys, it's Chris. I'm out here at the Asylum, our parent company out here in Houston, Texas. We're doing the Sony event over here. We have the Bravia we have the brand new Bravia 9 set up over here, and we have a competitor's version over on the left-hand side. Same thing right back here. We'll show you this in just a little bit. But basically, what we're going to be doing is showing you why the Bravia 9 is the biggest and baddest, the flagship. But this stuff is really, really cool. This is actually the same set of TVs right here. It's the same set of panels, just without their covers on them. So you're kind of getting a look under the boot, as it would be, or the bonnet. This one down here is giving you the frame of reference, but this one over here on the right side is going to be the Sony. Obviously, it has the banner right there. And then this is competition. This is Brand X. So I will let you guys know basically a quick little rundown of what's going on here. We're playing Dune right here, right now on this one. This one is a lot of different content over here. Big difference in the Sonys versus Brand X, but we're going to let you guys know all about it. We're going to do it right after the intro.
Hey everyone, hey, it's Andrew here with Sony, and I'm at the Grid Hi-Fi showing off our 98-inch X90L screen. So this is our amazing 98-inch TV with that XR Sony processor, but it's also really combining a lot of different Sony technologies. First off, we have our huge screen, but it's also backlit. It's backlit by our full array, full local dimming, so we can get really deep blacks over here in the dark areas, but really bright highlights in the bright areas. Running that Sony XR processor, we're able to process hundreds of thousands of points of control for every single frame of information. So your color is going to be bright, your detail is going to be spot on, your textures are going to be very natural looking, and then your motion is going to be very smooth and very natural as well. No judder, none of that soap opera effect that you can get, especially on a really big screen like this. So this is great for those big rooms, bright rooms. We can do this for movies, for sports, and also gaming. We've got some really cool gaming features on here. Our gaming dashboard, we can actually change the size of the screen. If 98 inches is too big when you're sitting up close, I can actually bring the screen down smaller to make it the perfect size for gaming if you're sitting close. We can do our with our gaming dashboard here on it. We can also throw up things like crosshairs, and we can give you kind of some cheater modes that help you see those bad guys in the dark a little bit better. So great TV for gaming, great TV for movies, sports, you name it. It's gonna do just a great job here. From the other TV that we've got here today is our all-new Leon studio frame, paired up with the 65-inch, I should say, X93L. With this Leon Studio frame, it is the perfect companion piece for our 93L series TV, which has that great mini LED control. It has that super wide angle screen. It uses that XR processor, similar to what we have in the 98-inch. And it's a TV that not only has a beautiful picture, but it looks beautiful in your living room when it's when it's not being used as a TV. By partnering up with Leon, we are able to come up with a couple of different frame options. We have the walnut, the white, the black, and the oak options available for the frame finish. And of course, if you want to do something beyond these, Leon is really great about doing custom colors, custom finishes, so they can put together anything that you'd like. Comes with over 70 works of art pre-included. We can also add any of your own family photos, artwork, anything else to the screen that you'd like. Even better, it's also motion and light operated. So if you want to have it so it's not on all the time in your living room, it can be triggered by motion and light to turn on and turn off when somebody is in the room, or only during the proper times.
All right, guys, now we're over here at the Sony OLED area, so I'm going to show you guys a couple different ones right here. On the left, obviously, there is no Sony badge. That is a Samsung. On the right, this is the Sony. This is TV of the year right now. This is the 95L. Both of these are in 65 inches, and then over here, I'll show you, we have the brand new C4 from LG on the left. Obviously, no Sony down here, as you guys can see that. And then this is the Bravia 8 right over here. So let me just show you guys real quick. All these TVs right now are 65 inches, but I'm gonna have to adjust the exposure because we're out here in a really well-lit environment. So again, it's a very, very dreary and rainy day outside, so that's not hindering performance. But let me just show you guys this. Let me see if I can get proper exposure on this thing real quick. So this looks like it's exposed properly right now. But what I'm noticing on the left versus the right is that the motion, you'll see a lot of the jaggies on the building's edges. It's a lot more pronounced on the left. I don't see any hindrance with that on the right on the Sony. But again, the blacks are inky black. The contrast is perfect. The colors are very, very accurate on the Sony. And then again, over here on the right, brand X, it just doesn't look the same. So, I mean, it's kind of easy to tell the difference in between these two. And these things are running off a video matrix right now, so you will notice that there's maybe like a frame or two that's going to be lagging on either of these. But the overall experience that you're going to understand between the two of them, like, again, this is proper exposure, but on the left it looks overexposed, and on the right it looks like the highlights are properly exposed, even in this dark landscape. And I don't know what fool is playing that music right back there, but all right, so that's that. And then this is the LG versus the Sony over here. So let me go ahead and readjust for exposure. And let's see this for you real quick. That looks proper right now. But again, same thing, is motion on the left, it looks jaggy, and then motion on the right just looks proper. It almost looks like if I'm looking at this through a camera and I didn't adjust the shutter speed properly, it's like chops. It's like chops of the actual content itself. But there is, I will arguably say there is more brightness over on the left side with the LG, but it looks that it's more accurate and more filmic on the right with the Sony. And again, no one's telling me to say this stuff. I'm just coming out here as an observer. I sell both of these panels, so it doesn't necessarily make any sense for me to tell you guys which one's better or worse. This is the information for you guys. You guys make up the decision. You guys can come out and check these things out in person. But again, we're doing the sliding shots here. And then what I notice is that obviously the motion is the biggest thing that I think they're trying to let you understand on this one. But I don't know. It kind of just seems which one is more your style. I will say that this looks a little more contrasty, and then this one just looks more filmic on the right, the Sony. But I am very, very impressed with the Sony Bravia 8, and that's the one over here on the right. And then you will notice that off-axis viewing is very, very good on both of these panels. So I don't think that's going to be a hindrance for any of you guys. I noticed that a lot of times you guys complain about off-axis for OLEDs, and I'm not seeing a problem here either. So let's see if I can expose these properly again. Off-axis looks fine. Maybe to a slighter degree, the Samsung looks less contrasty, but I'm pretty impressed. So again, we're just going to keep letting you guys know about the panels that are going on over here. I'm going to walk over to the 9 area, the Bravia 9. It is their micro LED, their new flagship, and I've seen it, and it's incredible. So we're going to talk about that in just a second.
If you look at this demo, and this demo has probably been around since 2016, and both TVs are in standard mode, the first thing you're going to notice, if you can see here, is actually the lights in Vegas and the actual sign. I can see the dividers in the sign. Obviously, the color is different. And you look over in the Samsung just wants to brighten everything up. And this is in standard mode, and the light sensor on. But at the end of the day, I can even tell that it looks like there's a light bulb missing and needs to be replaced. Besides for the color is more poppy. So the control on this new backlight, you have these individual IC in-house chips that we put in the backlight. They never told me how many. I'm sure there's tons of them. They never tell us how many zones that we have, because that really doesn't matter when it comes down to if you don't have control or not. But when you have control and you have a lot of contrast zones, you can choke these zones enough to where you don't get, because mini LED, if you go into stores, the first thing these kids talk about, because they all love OLED, and I'll be honest with you, I own 3. I'm actually considering this TV or the Bravia 7. It'd be the Bravia 7 75-inch or the Bravia 9 and 65-inch. So I just got to convince the wife. But as I roll this, Samsung likes to be an OLED even though it's a mini LED. They want to crush the blacks, but their processing is the other thing. Granted, everything is in standard mode, and we left the light sensors on because 90% of the customers leave all that stuff on, so this is out of the box. What you'll notice on the Samsung is that When you start to get brighter, it's noticing it's a dark scene, it's wanting bright, it's starting to bloom, and now it's killing it. And the sensor's going up and down, up and down, up and down. Now I know for me, when I go home, especially with my OLEDs, I would do probably the same here. I don't want to save any power, so I'm just going to turn off the light sensor, turn off eco mode, all that stuff. But we don't go dramatically up and down in our spectrum of brightness, because brightness is one thing, bringing color out of the brightness, the color gradation is another. And you can just kind of compare, and then it just dimmed out again. So a couple of people that we talked to over the last couple of days, they said they saw that with their Samsung, and you'll notice, and I'll pause this real quick. If you come over here, if you look at just the building, you look in here, you see all this noise. That's them not knowing what to do with all that detail and all that light. It's just noise. And this is on standard, so if I put it any brighter and went to vivid, it's just going to get worse. I'll roll that. But you see that all over their picture. Where, and I'll pause this again, where you should get some bleed through, it should be on peak highlights, and they're not wanting to do it. If you look over to their Planet Hollywood, they don't want to peak it because they don't want to bring another zone in play and look and see there's blooming in there. But we don't want to sacrifice that detail. So, and you'll see more of a kind of a little bit of halo effect on theirs, but at the end of the day, some of it's specular halo, but you're losing all the detail. That's another one. I'll pause that. At the end of the day, when people go into stores, they look at everything's in vivid mode. I'm straight up with customers like, look, we do 3 things with these TVs. We put it in vivid, makes it bright. We turn it eco mode, makes it bright. And we turn the sensor off, makes it bright. So your pupils are different in a store environment. They're tight. So at the end of the day, you want to make sure everything looks, oh, the brightest TV must be the best, right? That's not entirely true. But when we're in a bright environment, if I put this in vivid, it's still going to have control. Where you're more contrasty here, even though you have a ton of light on the screen on the overhead of Vegas, it's more grayish over there. But then you're losing the color because they don't want to pop like the Space Needle. Is that what they call it? With that roller coaster up top there. They just don't want to, they want to bring any other light into the extra zones, where we're okay with that as long as we control it, but we want to see the shadow detail because that's what the creators want. So this are these pretty much the same TVs, the Bravia 9 on the right, the QN90 on the left. TV at the bottom is just showing you exactly what I'm playing. So the screens have been cut out, and it's just the menu you're looking at now. So what you saw over here during the presentation is getting specular highlights without inducing more zones when you brighten that part of the image up. Where if you look at the Samsung on the left, the QN90C, it's starting to slowly bleed out into the other zones, which you don't want that, which causes haloing. So if I let this run, the image at the bottom is what you're seeing on the 2 TVs up top, but you're going to be seeing certain things that need to be brought out in that higher range of luminance on the Bravia 9, where the Samsung just wants to be bright everywhere. There's the chandelier. That's actually a good shot. Should you be able to get that? Yeah. Okay. Usually I think the best demos are when you have bright and dark on the same, not just fully bright. This is a slow demo, but you could see the owl turn its head where I could barely see the outline on the Samsung. That lantern I think is going to come up next.
Well, all right, guys, I think that's going to wrap up today's video. The difference in the Bravia 9 and Brand X, I'll leave you guys what the competition's name is. It starts with an S down in the comments. But just letting you guys know right here and right now, the colors on the Sony just look more accurate. I love Sony. Again, I'm shooting this with a Sony camera. I have a Sony at home. Whether it's TV and projection, I mean, it's just accurate. So you're looking right here, the actual skin tones look proper and everything's properly exposed. We go over here and everything is set to, these aren't calibrated. This is exactly what you get right out of the box. We wanted to make everything a fair fight, and I'm not adjusting the exposure on my camera either. This is the exact same shot paused, and this is the competition. You'll notice that there's more grain Over here on the side, the colors are completely incorrect on the face and the exposure, and then this one just looks proper right over here. You could even extrapolate that into the black bars above the panel itself. You see that there's a decent amount of bleed through over here, and this is no slouch. This is actually a pretty good comparison in between models right here. So I don't know, guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Really excited to let you guys know about this. Again, we're over here at the Asylum. If you guys want to grab any of these things, you guys know where to go. You guys can go to gridhifi.com. You guys can also shoot us an email, pick up the phone. We'd be happy to help you out. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll just see you next time.